Hello guys, welcome to Pypower Projects. So in this series on Pathway for Data Science, we will be discussing our third video, that is data science methodology. We know what is data science, and we have studied in the previous video that data science is nothing but people with having computer science knowledge backed with mathematical and statistical aptitude along with domain knowledge. Yes, domain knowledge is the key most important feature for a data scientist because they need to apply their science on some domain. This domain might be of business, finance, IT, or healthcare domain. There are many domains, but these are few major of them. We have also studied about some data science jobs in the second video and some data science job positions into a data science team. So in this video, we will be discussing about data science methodology. We will study how is the workflow of a data scientist, how he is dealing with a data science project. So let's begin the video by understanding the term that is methodology. Methodology is a certain system of methods or processes that we use for a particular study or performing a particular activity, that is here data science. So we have created a cycle, and this cycle is very iterative. Actually, this cycle has been historically created by Jim Rollins, who is the chief data scientist in IBM. Many of the data scientists believe that there is just data collection, modeling, and feedback. But actually, there is a different scenario for a data science lifecycle. They need to go with business understanding, followed with analytic approach, then data requirements, collection, understanding, preparation, modeling, evaluation, deployment, and feedback stage. Okay, so let's divide this 10 stages into 5 phases, which is nothing but from problem to approach, from requirements, that is data requirements, to data collection, from understanding to preparation, from modeling to evaluation, and from deployment to feedback. So this is a kind of important situation for a data scientist. So let's understand every phases one after another. So first is from problem to approach. Here we focus on business understanding and deciding the analytic approach for a particular problem. So for a data scientist, they need to ask questions before collecting data because they need to understand the goals of the stakeholders and their supporting objectives behind that question. For example, my stakeholder is asking about predicting the trends after this COVID-19 situation. So I will understand that my stakeholders want to create me a predictive model after the recession that is coming behind the COVID-19 pandemic. So what will be the trends of this company or this organization or some project? Okay. So based on the question that has been asked and their goals and objectives, I decide the analytic approach. Same happens for the data scientist. After understanding the business understanding, that is the question, they go for deciding analytic approach. Analytic approach is a strategy. Which kind of strategy we'll be using to conquer this problem? All right. So after understanding the business problem and deciding the proper approach, we move for data collection, which is the key most part. All right. So for data collection, we understand the data requirements. What are the data requirements? For example, I need to study about, I am a life insurance policymaker and I need to study about the what would be the premium for that policy. Then I need requirements about age. I need requirements about their weight, their medical problems, their history, and many more. But I won't be more concerned about their salary, not be more concerned about their state or country, right? I would be more focused about their weight, their height, their medical history, their age, and many more. So this is how we design the data requirements. What kind of data do we need? And then we go for data collection, that is where can I find that data. So data requirements is understanding which kind of data or what data elements or attributes we need. And then we go for collecting data. There are two major ways, that is primary data collection and secondary data collection. In primary data collection, there is no operations has been performed on the collected data. For example, surveys, they are raw data. There are no operations that has been performed on that data. And some secondary data collections are quite more liable, that are reports that may be from year to year, from quarter to quarter, which are there is some kind of operations which has been calculated on that data, and there is some extension of the data that was previously collected. So these both collection methods are useful in collecting data. Okay, so then we move for understanding to preparation. We understand the data elements. It is might possible that after we have collected the data, after requirements and collection, we may feel that some factors are missing. They might be influencing the decision. For example, I may forget to collect the data of their previous medical history, as if I am a policymaker for health and life policymaker. So it is possible that I move back to the data collection stage and collect some few more data and understand and come back to the understanding stage. So as you can see, this whole cycle or methodology is iterative. You can move to the previous stages, collect the data, understand the data, prepare the data, and come back to the proper stage. Okay, so we need to prepare. Prepare is means to clean the data. We have understood about the data understanding section. We need to look behind the data. We need to understand the data, that whether this data is to be helpful for creating proper models for my data science project. Okay, then we go for data preparation. We discover some facts, we clean the data, we transform according to our model. That means if we have created a model, we need to transform the data, then we need to enrich them. We need to update the data if it is necessary to update the data, and some sensitive information may lose if we are not updating the data. Okay, then we need to store the data so that it can be easily accessible. This part is still data preparation stage. So in the two phases, that is from collection to requirements to collection, and from understanding to preparation, we deal with data. Then we deal with modeling. That is the key most important feature in data science project. So that is from modeling to evaluation. If you have been exposed to some data science projects or machine learning algorithms, you might know that we need to collect a huge data set. Then we divide the data set into training data and input data, that is the test data. We train the model, we make a model with the help of machine learning algorithm, then we test the model whether this model is giving particular accuracy or not. Some of the machine learning engineers may forget to use the test data. So as a result of which they directly deploy the model. Before testing they get deploy the model, it is a possibility that your model might have not trained properly or might not have achieved certain accuracy. So this is a good practice to evaluate the model after creating it. And then we evaluate because the input data, we know the answer of that data. For example, it is a face recognition algorithm. Then if you just provide some few face data out of the training data, you might able to detect that yes, this is a perfect face, and you might know the accuracy of that data. Okay, so now after modeling and evaluation, we come to the final stage, that is associated with clients or stakeholders, that is the deployment stage. In the deployment stage, we deploy the evaluated model, that is the purified model, to the client. And then we go for feedback, because feedback is one of the key most features. It might happen that due to some malicious data or false data being generated or entered to our website, it might sound that our model is going a little bit lack of accuracy, due to which our model may deflect to certain parts which is not recommended for being that type of model. So we need to constantly figure out and monitor the accuracy ratio of that model, and that is called the feedback stage and feedback loop from developers to customers. So this is the model deployment and feedback. We have construed the 10 stages into 10 questions which are being pasted. So these are 10 stages and 10 questions, that is from problem to approach. We have decided two questions: understanding the problem, then understanding the data that we use, understanding the problem, understanding the deciding the analytic approach, then going for data requirements, then collecting the data, understanding the data, whether we have the data that we have collected is actually required to solve the problem. If not, we move back to the collection or requirement stage, recollect the data and come back. And then we go for additional work, that is cleaning and wrangling of data that we may require to collect. We need to fill the missing values, we need to place certain else things into the data set, that is on the preparation stage. Then we go for deriving the answers, that is we need to visualize the data or create a model, whichever is required. And then the model that we have created, we need to evaluate that whether the model that is created is initially addressing the problem that is actually was asked by our stakeholders. Then we put the model into practice, that is the deployment stage, and then we take constructive feedbacks for our model. And this is how this whole data science life cycle works. Okay, so in the summary, we have discussed about the data science life cycle, and in the next video, we will study about some case studies. We'll apply this data science life cycle to a theoretical case study and see how it works and how the whole life cycle works on practical basis. So thank you very much and see you soon in the next video.